Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to move a mountain? Not just physically, but with the power of pure devotion and unwavering faith? Today, I'm going to share with you one of the most incredible stories from ancient times. A story that reveals the hidden depths of Hanuman's greatest act of love and loyalty. This isn't just about lifting a mountain. This is about the moment when impossible became possible through the strength of a devoted heart. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this tale has inspired millions for thousands of years, and how its hidden wisdom can transform the way you face your own mountains in life. So, stay with me as we dive deep into the untold story of Hanuman lifting Mount Dronagiri. Let me take you back to one of the darkest moments in the Great War of Lanka. The battlefield was covered with dust and smoke. Warriors from both sides had fallen. The air was thick with the sounds of weapons clashing and battle cries echoing. Lord Rama's army was fighting bravely against the mighty demon king Ravana. But then, something terrible happened. Indrajit, Ravana's powerful son, appeared on the battlefield with a divine weapon. This wasn't any ordinary weapon. It was blessed with dark magic and could strike down even the mightiest warriors. Indrajit aimed this deadly weapon at Lakshmana, Rama's beloved younger brother. The weapon hit its target with devastating force. Lakshmana collapsed to the ground, his body motionless. His breathing became shallow and weak. The great warrior, who had stood by Rama through every challenge, was now fighting for his life. Rama rushed to his brother's side, his heart breaking at the sight. The entire army gathered around, their faces filled with worry and fear. The royal physician examined Lakshmana carefully. His diagnosis sent shockwaves through everyone present. Lakshmana had been struck by a weapon of dark magic. He would not survive the night unless they could find a very specific cure. The only medicine that could save him was the Sanjivani herb. But here's the problem. This magical herb grew only in one place in the entire world. Mount Dronagiri, high up in the Himalayan mountains, thousands of miles away from the battlefield of Lanka. And they had only until sunrise to find it. If the sun rose before Lakshmana received the medicine, he would be lost forever. The army stood in stunned silence. How could anyone travel such a vast distance in just a few hours? Even the fastest horse would take weeks to reach the Himalayas. Despair began to fill every heart on the battlefield. Some warriors started to lose hope. Others began to panic, running around trying to think of solutions. But then, an old and wise voice spoke up from the crowd. It was Jambavan, the ancient bear king. His eyes were filled with wisdom from countless years of experience. He had seen many impossible situations before. Jambavan slowly walked through the crowd until he reached Hanuman. He placed his weathered hand on Hanuman's shoulder. "My child," Jambavan said in a voice that commanded attention. "Do you remember who you really are? Do you remember the incredible power that flows through your being?" Hanuman looked up, his eyes still clouded with worry for Lakshman. Jambavan continued, "You have the strength to leap across oceans. You can fly faster than the wind itself. You have the power to grow as large as a mountain, or as small as a grain of rice. If anyone can save Lakshmana, it is you." These words awakened something deep within Hanuman's heart. He felt the divine energy beginning to stir within him. But more than his physical power, his love for Rama and Lakshmana gave him strength. Hanuman stood up and walked directly to where Rama was sitting beside his unconscious brother. He knelt down with complete humility and respect. "My lord," determined Hanuman said, his voice steady and determined, "I will bring the Sanjivani herb back before sunrise. I promise you on my life that Lakshmana will be saved." Rama looked into Hanuman's eyes and saw the unshakable faith burning there. He placed his hand on Hanuman's head as a blessing. "Go, my faithful friend," Rama said. "I trust you completely." Without wasting another moment, Hanuman prepared for his journey. He closed his eyes and focused all his energy. His body began to grow larger and more powerful. Then, with a mighty leap that shook the very ground, he launched himself into the sky. He flew like a blazing comet across the night sky. His form glowed with divine light as he soared over mountains, forests, and seas. The journey that would take ordinary beings weeks or months, Hanuman covered in mere hours. His mind was focused on only one thing: saving Lakshmana's life. As he flew, he repeated Rama's name with every breath. This gave him even more strength and speed. Finally, after what felt like both an eternity and an instant, he saw the mighty Himalayan mountains ahead. Mount Dronagiri stood tall and majestic, covered in snow and bathed in moonlight. But as Hanuman landed on the mountain, he faced his first major challenge. The entire mountainside was covered with hundreds of different herbs and plants. Many of them glowed with their own inner light. Some sparkled like jewels. Others pulsed with soft colors. The problem was, he had no idea which one was the Sanjivani herb. In his urgency to save Lakshmana, he hadn't thought to ask what the herb looked like. Now, surrounded by so many glowing plants, he felt confused. How could he identify the right one? Time was running out fast. Every minute that passed brought Lakshmana closer to death. Hanuman started examining the herbs one by one. This one glowed blue. Could it be the Sanjivani? That one pulsed with golden light. Maybe it was the right one. But as he searched, strange things began to happen around him. The mountain spirits, guardians of these sacred herbs, decided to test Hanuman. They created illusions to confuse him further. Herbs began to change their appearance. Some disappeared when he reached for them. Others multiplied into dozens of copies. Voices whispered in the wind, trying to lead him in different directions. The spirits wanted to see if his devotion was pure or if he would give up under pressure. For a moment, panic started to creep into Hanuman's heart. What if he picked the wrong herb? What if he wasted precious time and returned too late? But then he remembered Rama's face, filled with trust and faith in him. He remembered Lakshmana lying unconscious, depending on him for life. His love and devotion burned away all doubt and confusion. In that moment of perfect clarity, Hanuman made a decision that would become legendary. "If I cannot identify the one herb," he declared to the mountain spirits, "then I will take the entire mountain back with me. I will not let my ignorance become the cause of Lakshmana's death." The mountain spirits were amazed by his determination. They had never seen such pure devotion and practical wisdom combined. Here was someone who didn't let pride or ego stop him from finding a solution. Hanuman placed his hands around the base of Mount Dronagiri. He called upon all his divine strength. His muscles expanded with incredible power. His hands grew large enough to grip the entire mountain. And then, with a mighty effort that shook the earth, he lifted the whole mountain from its roots. The sight was absolutely incredible. Here was Hanuman, holding an entire mountain in his palm like it was a small rock. The mountain glowed against the dark night sky, all its herbs twinkling like stars. Without wasting another second, he began his journey back to Lanka. As he flew through the sky carrying the mountain, gods and sages watched in complete amazement. But Hanuman was focused only on his mission. He flew faster than he had ever flown before. Finally, he saw the familiar landscape of the battlefield below. He could see the worried faces of Rama's army gathered around their fallen hero. With careful precision, he landed and gently placed the mountain near the battlefield. "My lord," Hanuman announced, "I have brought Mount Dronagiri. Every herb that grows on this sacred mountain is now here." The royal physician immediately went to work. He quickly identified the true Sanjivani. It was a simple-looking plant with small leaves that glowed with a soft, healing light. He prepared the medicine with expert hands. The herb was crushed and mixed with holy water. Then, the precious medicine was placed on Lakshmana's lips. Everyone held their breath, watching and waiting. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, color began to return to Lakshmana's face. His breathing became stronger and more regular. The entire army erupted in celebration. Warriors threw their weapons in the air with joy. Drums began beating in triumph. But the most beautiful moment was when Rama embraced Hanuman. Tears of gratitude flowed from Rama's eyes. "You are not just my devotee," Rama said with deep emotion. "You are my very life, my breath, my strength. What you have done today goes beyond any act of service. You have shown what true devotion looks like." But here's where the story reveals its deeper, untold wisdom. This tale isn't just about physical strength or magical powers. It's about something much more profound that we can all learn from. Think about what Hanuman did when he faced confusion on the mountain. He didn't waste time doubting himself or feeling ashamed of his ignorance. He didn't give up when the task seemed impossible. Instead, he found a creative solution that ensured success. The mountain represents all the huge challenges we face in our lives. Sometimes our problems seem as big and unmovable as mountains. We feel small and helpless in front of them. The Sanjivani herb represents the wisdom, courage, or solution we need. Often, we know there's an answer somewhere, but we can't identify it clearly. We get confused by too many choices or overwhelmed by the complexity. Hanuman represents our mind when it's guided by pure intention and devotion. We find strength we never knew we had. Notice that Hanuman didn't try to be clever or show off his knowledge. He admitted he couldn't identify the herb. But instead of giving up, he found a way to guarantee success. This teaches us about practical wisdom combined with determination. If this story touched your heart and gave you new insight, excited, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to remember their own inner strength. Subscribe for more stories that reveal the timeless wisdom hidden in ancient tales. Until next time, remember that your devotion can move mountains